Welcome friends. Today we will be learning about gravitational force and magnetic force. So let's first discuss about gravitational force. Here in this image you can see one boy is playing with a cricket ball. He is throwing the ball in upward direction, and after reaching certain height the ball starts moving toward the earth's surface. In second image you can see one fruit is falling from the tree on the earth's surface. Now why do fruits on trees fall to the ground? Why do these objects are moving towards the earth's surface? The earth pulls all the objects towards itself. That's why these objects are falling to the earth's surface. Now the force applied by the earth to pull objects towards itself is called gravitational force. These objects are moving towards the earth's surface because of gravitational force. It is the force applied by the earth to pull objects towards itself. Now let's learn more about the gravitation. Sir Isaac Newton discovered gravitation in the 17th century. What is 17th century? It is a period of 100 years starting from 1st January 1601 to 31st December 1700. This period of 100 years is called 17th century. Sir Isaac Newton discovered gravitation in the 17th century, and the earth gravitational force acts in a direction opposite to that of an object moving upwards. Now when this boy throws a cricket ball in upward direction, the gravitational force is cricket ball is moving in upward direction, gravitational force is acting in downward direction. So hence the speed of the object goes on decreasing till in the end it becomes zero. So at what position the speed of the cricket ball becomes zero? At this position, where the cricket ball stops moving upwards and starts falling downward towards the earth's surface. Now then the object starts falling down instead of going up any further. While falling, its speed goes on increasing all the time due to gravitational force. So gravitational force is acting in a downward direction. So speed of the cricket ball keeps on increasing, and it is maximum just before hitting the ground, right? Now here one more experiment is given to understand this concept in a better way. There is one bucket full of water, and you have been given a stone. If you drop a stone in this bucket or this water from a height of 20 centimeter, you will hear a sound of a stone dropping in the water, right? But if you drop the same stone from a height of, let's say, 100 centimeter, the sound of the stone dropping in the water will be little bit louder. And why is this happening? Because the velocity or the speed of the stone falling in the water will be more, so that's why it's the sound will be more, the loud we will be hearing more or louder sound in second case, that is when we drop a stone from a height of 100 centimeter. Now in second image you can see one person is lifting a empty sack, and same person is lifting a sack. In second image you can see same person is lifting a sack with full of loads, different types of loads. So the gravitational force on the empty sack is less, that is to say it is weightless, that is its weight is negligible compared to the sack filled with different weights. So its weight might be in grams, and the sack filled with different weights, its weight might be in kilograms, it will be more than the empty sack, right? So gravitational force on the empty sack is less, and the gravitational force on the bigger sack is greater. In other words, the bag weighs more, the second bag weighs more, the gravitational force acting on it will be more. Now greater force must be applied to lift a greater weight, because the more gravitational force is acting on it, so its weight is more and greater force is required to be applied to lift a greater weight, right? Now here one example is given of a spring balance. How do we measure weights? Spring balance is a type of device which shows the weight of any object which is hung on its hook. It has one spring and there is marking of different weights. Now if we hung a weight here, let's say 5 kilograms, then there will be a tension generated. The gravitational force will be acting in downwards direction, so there will be a tension generated in the spring which is in fitted in the spring balance. Once there is a balance between spring tension and the gravitational force on the object, then the weight will be stationary and we can see its weight on the reading of the spring balance. You might have seen these things in experiment in your schools. Now in this position, the scale on the spring balance shows the gravitational force acting on the object, which is the weight of the object itself. The gravitational force acting on an object is called the weight of that object. Now the gravitational force operates between the sun and the planets in the solar system. Because of this, the planets revolve around the sun. So there is a gravitational force acting between bodies, two bodies in the, you can say, universe. Now gravitational force operates between sun and the planets in the solar system. Planets are revolving around the sun. So because of this, the planets revolve around the sun. At the same time, gravity also operates between planets and their satellites. Satellites are revolving around the planets. Now then why don't all the planets and satellites fall towards the sun? Because the planets are moving with a certain speed which prevents them falling to the sun. They keep on revolving around the sun. This might be your experience. If you tie a knot, if you tie a string to a stone or any object and revolve it in a circular manner, let's say if you keep one end fixed and there is one weight or a small stone is fitted at the other end, if you revolve this string around this point, then the stone won't be falling towards the center. It will keep on revolving if you maintain certain speed, right? Like in similar fashion, the planets and satellites also don't fall towards the sun, right? This is the similar example to this one. Now let's read it one more time. The gravitational force operates between the sun and the planets in the solar system, right? And because of this, the planets revolve around the sun. Now let's see what is magnetic force. Place some Here one experiment is given. Place a magnet on a table. Take a big iron nail towards the magnet. It sticks to the magnet. Now hold the magnet upright in the air, away from the nail. What happens? The nail might not stick to the magnet. Why? Because there might be a greater distance and it might not get attracted towards the magnet. If you keep the nail little bit closer or very close to the magnet, it will stick to the magnet. Now there are two poles in every magnet, south pole and north pole. The force exerted by a magnet is called as magnetic force, and because of which objects like iron nail are getting attracted towards the magnet because of the magnetic force. The force exerted by a magnet is called magnetic force. So that will be all about gravitational force and magnetic force. In next lecture we will study about the frictional force. Okay, thank you for watching. Have a good day.